Hello, welcome to this your channel, the Meta Eurofan. Text me. Georgia is still making a strong impression in the junior contest, consolidating as one of the heavyweights of the competition. The last proof was the avant-garde and distinctive performance from Marianne Big Baba in last year's contest, which made her achieve an honorable third place in the final rank. We will see now who will follow her steps representing the Caucasian country on this. Let's go! For today's episode, I'm going to review the Georgian entry for Junior Eurovision 2023, which will be represented by the trio Anastasia and Ranina with the song Over the Sky. We start by taking a look to these three children and how they join to live the Eurovision experience of the Catholic country. First we have Anastasia Ranina. She is 11 years old and comes from the country's capital, Tbilisi. She demonstrates to have singing skills since very little, participating in several musical festivals abroad. She currently studies at St. George International School, where she also attends ballet classes. In addition, she is a soccer fan and enjoys a lot socializing with people. Next we have Nicholas Karate. He is 11 years old and also comes from the Georgian capital. In a similar way, he began to outstand since very early age by participating in many junior singing competitions. He went on to be one of the 10 contestants who participated in the previous season of last year of Ranina, the renowned Georgian Junior National Final, where he ended as one of the 4 finalists in the final show, in which Marianne Big Baba got victorious, as we already know. To his accolades, we can also add a collaboration with the Georgian representative at Eurovision in 2012 and Rio JESC. On the other hand, when he's not singing, he likes to play the piano and enjoys hobbies like horse riding and motorcycles. Finally, we have Otto Vasarashvili. He is 12 years old and comes from the town of Ikalto, located in eastern Georgia. His mother figures out how talented he is since very little, and she encourages him to take singing lessons. He has commented himself that he does not only love to sing in his native language, but also he's thinking about studying Georgian philology. Casually, he was also one of the 10 contestants of the previous edition of Ranina together with Nicholas last year. And in the same way, he was also one of the 4 finalists, which were very close to represent Georgia and Junior Eurovision. In his daily life, he balances his school life with his singing studies. And during his free time, he practices judo, which it does not only works for him to relieve the stress of the daily routine, but also he has competed in the martial art in his region, having seen a little of all of them. Let's take a look on how they become the Georgian representatives on French soil. Being loyal to their strategy, the Georgian public broadcaster will organize what it went to be the 6th season of their Junior National Final Ranina, with 10 child artists as usual competing for the ticket to Nice, while the song will be internally selected once again by the broadcaster. Compared to last year, the contestants were revealed in early last February, being Anastasia among them, keeping the format in the same way like in the previous editions, and airing the shows between April and mid-June. Anastasia will pass the 4 initial rounds, getting qualified to the semi-final after the final scoring of all the points gained in each round, together with other 4 contestants. During the semi-final, an unprecedented fact will happen. The 5 semi-finalists will end up qualifying all of them to the final show after a technical tie from the deliberations of the jury, being the first time that happens in all the seasons the Junior National Final has had to date. Then, during the final show broadcasted in mid-June, Anastasia will be declared the winner of the competition from the jury, just having the right of representing Georgia on the main stage of Nice. After her victory in the Junior National Final, the Georgian public broadcaster will begin the search for the song that Anastasia will perform in the junior contest as a soloist at first. Many months later, in mid-September, the broadcaster will change their initial plans and they will incorporate Nicholas and Otto, 2 of the finalists of the previous edition participation of Ranina to form a trio with Anastasia, being the first time since 2015 that the country participates with a group at the Junior contest, this time under the name of Anastasia and Ranina. Sometime later, in the middle of this month, it was known the song that the trio will perform, with the release at the same time of this accompanying official music video. It is a track that appeals for the imagination of the children. Now here comes the analysis according to what they have presented in their proposal. About the melody, I think it is a Georgian traditional song, like the ones that are usually performed in the renowned Georgian Junior National Final, blended with some avant-garde pop. In the other hand, the vocal skills from Anastasia, Nicholas, and Otto are definitely proof after their participations in their respective editions of Ranina, although I have to admit that I'm not convinced of their joint voices for the song. Talking about the lyrics, it has been written in Georgian with some phrases in English, written in detail previously translated at first. It encourages the children to be able to be what they want to be without barriers or limits, that everyone is the main character of their own story. Imagining being able to fly like a bird or like a superhero. The only thing that gets my attention in the composition in this case is the repeated use of the word Ranina. I mean, it is not only the name of the Georgian Junior National Final, and it is not only used as part of the stage name of the trio, but it is also into lyrics many times. Okay guys, you're wearing out the name, let's calm down for a little, don't you think? Although the message is implicit on the lyrics. I will add this that it is much related with the slogan of the Junior contest this year. The children of today are not also the heroes of our time, they are our future. Having reviewed the song, now I'm going to analyze the official music video released for this proposal. In some way I'd imagine that it will be a conceptual video, as they have been doing recently, and this was not the exception. The performance begins with them wearing avant-garde white outfits in the middle of cardboard clouds, which are alternated with shots of Anastasia, which is in a sort of greenhouse, where there are real plants, but the big flowers around her are all fake if you detail them closer, and she is wearing in this case a red dress that imitates the flowers she has around her. You can see it is a different style compared to previous proposals, but they are not to discard at all the avant-garde trend. In another shot before the first chorus, Nicholas is seen riding a fake horse, probably in allusion to those gray horsemen from the fairy tales. During the first chorus, the three of them are seen in another shot, in which I cannot tell if it is a real location or if it's a stage set at a studio. But beyond that, they are seen in the middle of a meadow, with white panels and stained glass windows behind them, while they are wearing outfits like fairy tale characters. It is quite funny to see later both Otto and Nicholas flying about the meadow. Here is when the title and the topic of the song are addressed, as technically they would look like the typical superheroes. All these different scenes are alternated throughout the song, until the bridge of the song approaches, where there is an extra scene with Anastasia, which is in the same cloudy stage, but this time in a sort of gondola and with golden stars around. I think in this case they wanted to represent the typical maids, especially with the peach dress she is wearing, which is in some way more elegant. In the last chorus, it returns to the same dynamic of before, alternating the different scenes previously seen, until the end of the music video, in which the performance closes with a close-up of Anastasia, this time without the gondola, but still surrounded by the golden stars. Making a summary of the comments, the Georgian entry for this year is quite literal. It is like they have prepared a proposal thinking about the slogan of the Junior contest specifically, which it could be quite redundant. In fact, I think it is more like an interval act rather than an original proposal. It is true that Georgia keeps that distinguishing and avant-garde character, and that is commonly one of the big favorites year after year, but this time I have my doubts. About the staging, unless having seen the music video, I guess that they will play with many of the elements portrayed on it, to make a prominent staging with many props. or maybe they could take a completely different direction by making a simpler performance. Either way, we will see it when they get the chance of presenting their proposal on the stage. And you, what do you think about the Georgian entry for this year? Leave your comments right down below to follow up the discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Before I finish, I remind you to like and subscribe to my channel, enable notifications, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.